In this video we're going to be making ourselves a single web page on how to make gooey chocolate chip cookies. There's two things we want to take out of this tutorial. The first is some CSS styling. Okay, so you make the page using HTML programming and we style it or make it look pretty using CSS. And we're going to add CSS where we've got some colored text for the headings and subheadings, and we're also going to include a border around the picture. Okay, that's the first thing we want to take out of this tutorial. The other thing is the different types of lists or bullet points we can use in a website. We've got an unordered list here, which is just plain circular bullet points, and we've also got a numbered list here, or an ordered list, which is numbered bullet points. Alrighty, so let's get over to our accounts and start making this page. First thing I need you to do is make a new folder called Choc Chip Cookies web page. Once you've made that folder, open it up and go inside and make an images folder. Okay, I've just called it IMG for short. You'll also need to copy across this blank.html file that I've already supplied you. That's got the recipe written on it, so it'll save you the time of writing it out. Inside that images folder, you'll also need to copy and paste in the picture of the cookies. I've also given you access to that image. Okay, once you've got that picture copied across and the website copied across, I want you to open this blank.html file and I want you to open it into brackets. So if you can right click, open it in brackets. Otherwise just click on the file once, go up to the home tab and open it through that way with brackets. Okay, that will just take a second to load, so we'll get brackets up in a minute and you will see the recipe for the cookies. All the information is there, but the formatting isn't. And if I was to hit the live preview button at the moment, let's see what pops up in a second. We'll see how this web page is looking. It is pretty ugly. It's just a big clump of text. Okay, it's got a pretty bad title as well. So it's our job to fix that up. Okay, so let's go to the top of this document in line 1 and just press enter a few times to give yourself a bit of space. And we're going to start by giving it the doc type tag, which tells the computer we are making a HTML document. After that we can put in the HTML tags. Okay, inside of those tags, remember to put the head tags first. Inside the head tags, we put in a title. And the title of our web page today is Gooey Choc Chip Cookies Recipe. Okay, leave a little space below the title. We're going to add some style tags in there a bit later on, not just yet. We're going to go below the closing head tag now. We're going to add in our body tags. So it's time to put in the information we want to see appear in our website. And that information is all down below here. Okay, so highlight that information and press Ctrl X or Command X to cut that out. Back inside the body tags up here, Ctrl V will paste it in. Now I'm just going to highlight everything except for this first line and press Tab twice just to indent it and keep it all perfectly in line to show that it's inside the body tags. Alright, so first thing we might do is style up our heading. Okay, at the moment our page, if I save that, will not have changed. It will still look just like this apart from the title across the top. Okay, we want to get this page looking good now, and as I said, we're going to start with this Gooey Choc Chip Cookies heading. And we'll start by giving it a H1 tag around it. So H1 at the start, H1 at the end. That will give it a nice big size that looks like that. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is the subheadings. I don't want them to be as big as the H1 headings, so I'm going to make them H3. So around ingredients, I want you to write that. And around the method, I want you to write that as well. Okay, I've done a bit of a copy and paste job there. You can do the same if you want. So around method, we've got H3 tags, and around ingredients, H3 tags. Control S to save. Have a look at your page now, and you can start to see a little bit of structure coming into play. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is turn this list of ingredients into an unordered list. So we've got bullet points next to each of those. So the way we do that, just above that list, I'm going to put in a UL tag, which stands for unordered list. And I'm going to move the closing UL tag just below that list. Okay, so you can see the two tags highlighted there. These ingredients, I'm going to press Tab on once I've highlighted them, just to indent them a little bit further to show they go inside the unordered list. And before each one of these, we need to put an LI tag, and at the end of each one we need to put a closing LI tag And if I save that, you'll see that that puts in one bullet point. Okay, so what I'm going to do is a copy and paste job. I'm going to copy and paste the li tags at the start of each line first of all. So it's just Control C and Control V to copy and paste. Then I'm going to copy the closing li tag and paste it at the end of each ingredient. A little bit repetitive, but quickest way I know how to do it. So we can save that, go and preview it, and you can see now we've got bullet points next to each one of those ingredients. We want to do the same thing down the bottom for the method, except this time we're going to create an ordered list which creates numbered bullet points. So let's pop down just below our method here onto the next line, and I'm just going to type OL this time. That stands for ordered list. The closing OL tag will go just below the method. I'm going to highlight all that and just press tab to indent it. What I'm going to do now is put the same list item tag, so the li tags, at the start of each one of these, and I'm going to do it as well as delete that little dash at the same time. So I'm going to replace that dash and the space with an li tag. Don't want those dashes anymore. We want to have an actual numbered list. Okay, so the closing li tags we can copy and put them at the end of each line here. Alright, so I'm just going to Control S to save that. We should have our ordered list now appearing at the bottom of the page, which we do. Okay, that's looking really good. Now, a new little trick that I've just learnt, hopefully this is going to work for us, is how to do 1 3/4 and 2 1/4 cups properly. Okay, so what we're going to use is some tags. SUP is the first one. It's going to do the top number in this equation. After the 3, we're going to close that tag. So we've just added in the sup 3 and then a / sup to close it off. Okay. To do this little dash, we need to actually delete it and write a bit of code. So we do the ampersand sign and write FARSL semicolon, and then around this number 4 we do the sub tag. So this is the bottom of the equation. Okay, let's have another look at that. So this is in the ingredients section. There's the ingredients section there. And the second item, I've got 1 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. So to write 3/4, I put the sup tags around the 3, put this and fraction piece of code in, which will do the line between them, and then on the bottom of that fraction we've got the 4. Okay, so the top number will be the sup tags, the bottom number will be the sub tags. Okay, if we say that, I think it stands for superscript and subscript. We'll have a look. There we go, 1 3/4 cups. That actually worked. That looks good. I might do the same for the 2 1/4 cups below it. So remember, the sup or supertext, superscript tags will go around the top number. I'm just doing a copy and paste job here. Remember to delete that fraction sign and put in the code for it instead, which appears in yellow. So I've just added that, the superscript around the top number, the fraction symbol in yellow, and the subscript, which will appear in the bottom around the 4. Save that, test it out, and you can see that we've got the nice little superscript and subscript numbers working there. Okay, it looks pretty cool. Nice little touch to add to your page. I think we are ready to style this page up now. Yep, so it's time to put a bit of colour and the picture in there. So first of all, let's style up the body part of this web page, which is the main part of the web page. So we're going to go back up to our head tags at the top here, and below the title we're going to add some style tags in. Okay, this allows us to style up our web page. The first thing we want to style up, as I said, is the body part of our website, or web page, sorry. So everything that appears between the body tags, which is basically everything, is about to be styled. Okay, so we've written the word body. Pop down to the next line and open up a curly brace. Now we want to style up a few things here. The first thing is the background color. Okay, and the background color I'm looking for is a hexadecimal code, so I'm going to put a hashtag and write FFFCD6. Put a semicolon. And that little piece of code there inside the style tags is going to give our page a background color, which should be a light yellow, and it is. So that looks good. Something else I want to do to this body section is change the font. And the way we do that is you write font-family. And I always choose sans serif. It's known to be an easier font to read on a computer screen than a serif font, so stick with sans serif fonts for your web pages. Let's go and have a look at that. You can see our font has changed now. Basically it's gotten rid of the little curly bits or the little curly caps or feet on the end of each letter. They're just simple stroked letters now. Okay, after the font family, what we're going to do is change the line height. What the line height is the line spacing. And to do about 1.5 line spacing, we write 1.5 EM. Put a semicolon in. The other thing we want to change before we preview that is the font size. So write font-size and make it 1 EM, which means it's just the standard size for your computer screen, the perfect size basically. And then 1.5 is 1.5 times the size of the font in line spacing. So if we preview it now, our font size hasn't really changed, but we have got a little bit of line spacing in now, which makes it easier to read this text. Alrighty, so that's all I'm going to do on the body. That's the body styled up, so make sure you close that little curly brace off. And we're going to pop down to the next line. And what we're going to style up now is the H1 tag. Okay, so write H1, go down to the next line and open up a curly brace. So what we're styling up now is everything between the H1 tags. So basically just the gooey choc chip cookies heading at the top of the page. We can tell the computer how we want to style this up. And I only want to do one thing to it. I want to change the color. So write the word color with the American spelling. And the color we want, let's go with chocolate kind of color. So we'll choose brown. And don't forget the semicolon at the end. So that little bit of code there will style up the H1 tag to have its color as brown. If we save that, go and preview it, you can see now it's not the best looking brown, but our heading at the top now has brown color to it. Alright, that's H1 styled up. How about we do the next subheading, which is H3. So write in the H3 tag at the top in your style section. Okay, this time we're going to style up everything between the H3 tags. So we've got ingredients, and we've also got some H3 tags down here where it says method. So our two subheadings are going to be styled up now. What we want to do to them is change the color. We don't want it brown this time. There is actually a color called chocolate. So let's select that color chocolate. Put a semicolon at the end. And that piece of code there will color our text in chocolate. Which doesn't look like chocolate to me. It looks more like caramel, but we'll roll with that. You can see both of our H3 headings have been styled in one go. So that's looking really nice. Alright, we'll keep going down. What else have we got to style? We might style up our unordered list. So let's write the UL tag just here. Open up a curly brace on the next line. You'll see the closing curly brace appears automatically. Now the UL section is this part here. So everything in between those UL tags is about to be styled up. And all I want to do is make the font size a little bit smaller. So back up the top here where I've written UL, I've got the curly braces. Inside of those, we're just going to write font-size, do a colon. The size we want it, you can write 0.9 EM. A little bit smaller than 1 EM. Save it and have a look and see if that looks any good. Yeah, not bad. I think we'll stick with that. We might do the same for the ordered list as well, so I might just copy that. On the next line down, we're going to type OL in now because we're going to style up the ordered list, which is the method at the bottom of the page. So there's our OL tags. Everything inside here is about to be styled up. And I'm just going to paste in that exact code. Whoops, I've copied the brackets as well when I shouldn't have. There we go. So font size is just a little bit smaller, 0.9. If we go and preview that, you can see it's just a bit smaller now as well. That's looking quite good. And we haven't got this picture in yet. We probably should put that picture in. Okay, so our picture comes back down in the body section. Remember, everything in the body section will be displayed on our page. So we want the picture at the top, just beneath the H1 tag here. Okay, so in between the H1 tag, gooey chocolate chip cookies, and the H3 tag, ingredients, we're going to put in the IMG tag, which means image. Then we tell it the source of that image. So where are we going to find that image? We're going to look in our images folder, and it's called cookies.jpg. And then we simply close off our pointy bracket. If I see that now, we should be able to see our picture appear in the page. Okay, well, our text is still there, it's just down a bit lower, but there's our picture. Now that's a bit too big for my liking, so what we're going to do is style that picture up. So up the top again, in our style tags, let's add in the IMG tag. We're going to style that up. There's a few things we'll do here. We'll do the width, first of all, and we're going to make it pretty small, so we'll go 200 pixels for our width. Save that and we'll see if that's a good size now. You see it automatically changes the height. That's a pretty good size, I think, so I'm going to stick with that. Okay, so we don't have to write the height in, the width does it automatically. We're going to put in a border. So what we do is write border-width, and I'm going to make it 2 pixels. So write 2px. Don't forget your semicolon at the end. The other thing we're going to do is a border style. I'll just show you how that looks at the minute. You can't actually see the border, even though we said it needs to be 2 pixels in size. So we'd better change the border style. And the border style that we want to use for this one is solid. So there it is at the bottom of the list. I'll click on that. Semicolon to finish it off. And if we save that, you can see that a border has appeared now around our image. Alrighty, so that's looking pretty good now. Nice big heading at the top there. If we scroll down a little bit, got our ingredients, nice unordered list there, and then in our method we've got a numbered bunch of bullet points. I think everything's looking pretty good. Yep, so when you're done, what I'm going to do is just go to File, Save As. We're going to rename this. At the moment it's called blank.html, which isn't much use to us. It's not a very meaningful name, so how about we rename it to cookies.html and click Save. Okay, that'll do us. We are done. We've got it all finished, so hopefully yours looks something like that.